Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's all about cross-border payments, CBDCs. We got David Schwartz. Did a three-letter agency create Bitcoin? He's asked a question, and we got the answer. ECB, UK, new prime minister coming in, baby. And don't forget, UK said they want to be a crypto hub. We got something for you to see. And FedNow talking cross-border payments, but I thought it was domestic. Somebody wrote a beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Excuse me.
Today, I'm proud to say that under the UK's president...
One second. We're going to get to you. This here is the new prime minister, it looks like, over in the UK. We're going to get there in a second, but let's look at price very quickly here. As I clear my throat. Ooh, you know, so just you turn the red button on, you start recording, and next thing you know, you got a cough, you got to sneeze, the whole thing. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Bitcoin 19,200 plus, Ethereum 1,300 plus, XRP 45 cents. Good morning, good afternoon. $963 billion market cap for crypto. There's a lot of money missing. But I tell you what, this here is the one thing that gets me excited, because the only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto. And that's exactly what I've done with iTrust. I love working with them and I love being a customer. You guys know it. There's so many great specials of services and products that I have in my description box. And this is certainly, I believe, one of them. Check it out. See if it's right for yourself. They got staking they're offering now at 9.5%. 0% monthly fees, ladies and gentlemen. You find a better product in that area, you let me know about it, because it's not out there. Here we go. David Schwartz, shout out to the CTO of Ripple, starts this comment thread off, and it gets quite interesting at the end for me. He says there's nothing defamatory about saying that Craig Wright is not Satoshi, just as there is nothing defamatory about saying that I'm not Satoshi. There's nothing inherently wrong with not being Satoshi. The argument that such a statement could be defamatory comes from the fact that Craig Wright has said that he is Satoshi, and thus saying he isn't is calling him a fraud and a liar. But if that were the law, then anyone could make any claim defamatory by insisting, they knew the claim was false. If I insist that I know that Donald Trump is a liar, does that mean that anyone claiming Donald Trump is honest is defaming me? That can't be right. In context, calling Wright a liar or fraud is identical to saying he's not Satoshi. And saying he's not Satoshi is not defamatory. His choice to tie his reputation to a claim cannot turn denying the claim into defamation, or anyone could make denying any claim defamation. That is such a really great thread there, and I know it seems quite confusing a little bit, but it's a great point to make, the way Craig Wright's tied himself to this whole entire situation. XRP Crypto Wolf says, David Schwartz is Satoshi confirmed, just kidding, laugh out loud. Wouldn't be surprised if Satoshi is really the CIA or NSA, one of those three-letter agencies. David Schwartz says that's not a terrible theory. If the NSA or the CIA happen to stumble on how to make Bitcoin, it might make sense that they would implement and deploy it to eliminate the risk that someone hostile to the U.S. would do it first and potentially made billions of dollars. And we've talked about the idea that a three-letter agency had something to do with Bitcoin, and that someday there'll be a rug pull. Well, here's Frank Juicer right here, huge investor, gold guy. You need to know that going in. Talking to Daniela Camboni here. Great conversation at his place in Italy, and it looks beautiful. And he's going to tell you here that he thinks Bitcoin may get a rug pull too, and for the same reasons we talk about on this channel. Take a listen.
Biden administration is looking at regulating cryptocurrencies, and it looks like it's happening faster than many people thought. I know, speaking with you, you've said they will not want a competing currency, and they'll do everything to stop Bitcoin. I've spoken to other experts on the flip side who will say the U.S. will not want to be last in this race. If Bitcoin is the future, they're not going to want to ban it. They're going to want to be ahead of it. I want to really get your thoughts here.
Yeah, I think you have to separate what the U.S. really wants is to be ahead of the game on blockchain, not Bitcoin particular, or some form of digital system that they can eventually take over. And that's, they're going to create their own central bank digital currency like everybody else in the world. And they're not going to want competition. I see Bitcoin as an anti-sovereign fiat play. And if I'm right about a monetary reset where everybody's going to something else that incorporates digital currencies in that whatever they create, the last thing they're going to want is the competition for Bitcoin. And as I said a year and a half ago during our debate with Michael Saylor, eventually they will want to take Bitcoin out. I think there's too much risk there.
And I want to get back to Biden.
And you know what? I've said it a million times. He's saying, are we wrong? Who knows? But I tell you what, I've got it on the table, and so does Frank Justra. And I do believe that Bitcoin at some point gets a rug pull. And we're about to look at information that shows just how fast the legacy banking financial system world is moving to this new system, which involves blockchain, distributed ledger technology, tokenization, CBDCs, to remain in control, relevant, and powerful. First piece of news starts right here. It's Egypt to develop new currency indicator to wean people off of the US dollar. Yeah, that's the goal, right? That's the goal. And as I remind you, Saudi Arabia wants to join or is considering joining BRICS to the tune that they have memorandum of understanding known as MOUs, working contracts basically, saying if it all goes well, we're coming, to the tune of $15 billion with South Africa, I believe at this point, from BRICS. Think of the petrodollar no longer being the petrodollar and it really becoming fractionalized. Now, BRICS is 40% of the world's population. Then there was this reminder I had over the weekend here from the World Gold Council, David Tate, that they're already working with blockchain and distributed ledger technology when it comes to managing supplies of gold. And they're talking about tokenizing gold for every gold bar in the world with their gold 24/7 new system. Digitization project and tokenizing. That's where they're going here. Isn't that timely if they end up backing the fiat system by gold again to shore up the transition to this new payment rails? And to more than likely bring more currencies side by side to the US dollar to compete for the global reserve currency, or introduce something like XRP even early on to have it sit beside it, and XLM to begin to take the spillover shocks away from the national currency that serves as a global reserve currency like the US dollar. Here's a report that came out April 2022 that shows you just how much everyone in the financial world is moving to it. This is the European Central Bank report. We may have even talked about this in April, and I think that we did talk about at least a portion of this report. But this is a reminder right here from April. 21st of November 2022, Target 2 will be replaced with Target. This is a payment system, ladies and gentlemen. It goes on to say, in order to ensure effective implementation of guideline ECB 2022 of August, the decision should enter into force without delay, it says. Now, we've heard the ISO 20022 has been delayed till March of next year. But here's what the fee structure looks like as a reminder here for tips, right? Let's take a look at it. Look at these fee structures per item. 200 thousandths of a euro. 200 thousandths of a euro. This cost structure looks very familiar to me. And here's two with really a lot more headroom than shown in the report, which would make sense. XRP, XLM. When I think of the ones on this list, I don't know of any that are more deeply tied than XRP on this list. I know Ethereum does work with the BIS. You know, everything's moving this way. Take a look at this. Rishi, new prime minister, something new is coming. This was from October of last year, 1 year ago. We reported on it, but you need to hear it now because now he's the prime minister, right? Take a listen to what he was so excited about 1 year ago.
Presidency, the group of the world's 7 most advanced economies, the G7, is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside physical notes and coins. Unlike most of the digital money people use daily today, it would be issued directly by a central bank, like the Bank of England in the UK. And governments and central banks across the world are working together looking into what having a digital currency might mean in practice. This includes issues that people care about, such as ensuring users' money would be safe and secure, that it could work with other ways to pay, would be energy efficient and available to everyone. A potential CBDC could offer businesses and consumers new ways to pay in the future. It's all part of the wider story of digital innovation that has delivered benefits to millions around the world and in the UK. The decision on whether to launch a central bank digital currency is for each country to make, and no G7 jurisdiction has yet made that choice. These decisions raise important questions about the reshaping of our economy, financial systems, and the way in which people interact with money and payments. That's why working together and careful evaluation with our international partners is essential. In the UK earlier this year, I announced a new joint task force between the Treasury and the Bank of England to look into a potential CBDC as a complement to cash and bank deposits. We're also hearing from firms, technology experts and others. Under the leadership of the UK, this report today will help support and inform exploration of CBDCs in the G7 and beyond. With these principles, the G7 is leading an important step change in the global policy conversation.
You know, Naveen Gupta talked about step change too. You know, there's these phrases that are used at times that just really feel like more than just coincidence.
The report covers a range of important matters, such as financial stability, cyber resilience, energy efficiency, privacy, inclusion, and tackling illicit finance. These factors should all be considered when designing and potentially delivering a CBDC that would be fit for the future. Our shared objective is to ensure that CBDCs would be grounded in long-standing commitments to transparency, the rule of law, and sound economic governance. The G7 will continue its work in this important area, working with others to enhance understanding and use of these principles. We're excited to be taking a leading role with G7 members in publishing this exploratory work, bringing money and finance into the 21st century.
I mean, you know, 1 year ago and 10 days is when he said that, and now he's the prime minister. Shout out to Crypto Insight UK. Keep an eye
Today,
out for...
I'm proud to say that under
this thing starting again. Shout out to Crypto Insight UK for that, and I look forward to getting together with him in a collaboration not too long from now. Keep an eye out for that. Here we have Payments Consulting Network sharing FedNow may stumble without non-banks and cross-border payments. Now, wait a minute. We've all made it very clear, and FedNow made it very clear that this is a domestic system. And we know that there's been plenty of people out here to tell us we don't have the right to talk about cross-border with FedNow because it's a domestic system. But take a look at this. I want you to see this. This is a diagram I put together of what it looks like to me. Maybe it helps you, maybe it confuses you. I don't know, but I hope it helps in some way. But when I think of FedNow, I think of a system in the United States creating domestic pool of liquidity, and it could be CBDCs or stable coins. But it's organizing that domestic liquidity through the new payment rails so that liquidity can be drawn on to make cross-border payments to other domestic liquidity pools and frameworks like over in the EU and with the ECB and the UK. And BRICS. And you think about these fractionalized payment zones that exist in this new digital world that we're going to, and there would be a hell of a demand for an XRP as a bridge currency. Now that's from a Ripple document, the spoken wheel there, showing all the currencies with XRP in the middle. But you would need, I would imagine, if you're going to have all the money flowing across it or through it, interchangeable and able to settle on the XRP ledger, then you would need and want, I would think, as a first step, to organize the domestic liquidity pools with something like FedNow to begin to talk about what they're talking about now. That FedNow may stumble without non-banks. You know, Ripple happens to be a non-bank, and cross-border payments, which Ripple highly focused on. I'm not going to read this whole article here, but the article itself addresses that issue here. 24/7 instant payment system are limitless. FedNow is a crucial first step, exactly what I'm talking about with the diagram. More efficient payments. US, unfortunately, the current framework does not address other more pressing issues in the United States payment system, but not including non-bank and cross-border payments. FedNow puts itself at risk for success and does not take into account the need of U.S. consumers. Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, White House, and others leading government bodies have identified fixing cross-border payments as a priority with good reason. They're slow, costly, inconvenient, lack of transparency, despite the prioritization by financial decision makers to identify, solve the problems with international transactions. The FedNow launch will not include cross-border payments. As I said, I believe it is a way to build and organize domestic liquidity on the new digital financial payment rails. That's my take on it. And by the way, the NACHA rules would have to change. It says here, by serving cross-border payments, faster payments, Fed is an opportunity to support the groups who rely on international payments and address the challenges they face while sending money overseas. To do this, the Fed must evolve the past outdated rules like day-long NACHA delay of international transactions. Ultimately, improved instant cross-border payments would lift individuals out of poverty, improve economic infrastructure, increase U.S. competitiveness, and encourage more engagement in the regulated financial sector. Who else do you know is suited for this role that it looks like from Banking Dive's article here could save FedNow from being a stumbling disaster? Because it's not equipped to handle cross-border payments, which is a huge problem in itself. In addition to cross-border payments, the benefits of FedNow must be widely available to Americans through competitive, diverse providers, including non-banks. You know, 82% of Americans making digital payments, including a variety of financial institutions on FedNow. Who knows where this goes, but I tell you, this article really does highlight the need for something like a Ripple and XRP to be introduced, in my mind, because if you're going to go to a new system, you're not just going there domestically. You're going there with the world. And everyone domestically goes there, but you still need to be connected globally to be able to settle the money around the world. That's where we are on this day, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. If you haven't done it yet, Ledger, ladies and gentlemen, not your keys, not your crypto. And right now, if you go down and click the link, you can download the Ledger Live app if you have not done it yet already. And you can set it up so you can buy your crypto from your phone through Ledger Live's exchange. It goes directly to your cold storage wallet. I'll catch all of you on the next one. Not financial advice, just my digital perspectives.